All right, hot seaters, welcome to another week. I want to introduce you to Peter and Pam. They've actually been patients here for all over 3 years now, and they actually came from one of our community dinners. And so Peter came in with diabetes. He came in with headache issues, numbness and tingling, sinus problems, and digestion. And then Pam came in with low back pain, numbness and tingling. She was on 3 meds for diabetes, cholesterol, and high blood pressure. And because a friend, a patient of ours, spoke up to them, they were able to come to our community dinner. And so I want them to tell you, since coming into the office, some of the improvements that they've had. So Peter, what about you?
Since coming in, diabetes gone. I am diabetic free. The tingling in my feet gone. The headaches gone, except when I'm hungry. But I'm learning to eat healthy and to exercise even more, and I thank God for maximized living.
That's awesome. And Pam, what about you? What's changed since you've been into the office?
Well, one of the great things is I am in a pair of jeans today that I didn't even think I could ever get in. I was just looking at them for years. So I have lost weight and I am off medications. We were just recently in a car accident in November and I did not think I was going to make it at all. And we came here immediately to get chiropractic care and get care in general all the way through. And it has been a blessing. It has been a gradual process, but I can actually now stand on that ball out there without falling off or without feeling dizzy. And that is a blessing. So we are very excited for the continual grace of God that we're being healed continually. So.
That's awesome. So my question for you is, who are you thinking of that needs to come into the office? We actually have our next community dinner coming up March 30th. So whoever that person is that you're thinking of, go ahead and touch base with them and invite them out to the dinner, and make sure that you touch base with Mandy and Susan at the front desk so that we can reserve their seats. Thanks. Get back to wobbling.
Many of you out there watching this, you made a total, amazing, huge commitment to your health. And now what's it mean to be committed? Making the decision to start taking care of your health and chiropractic care, that's not going to change things. That's great intent, and I appreciate the intent. Paying the money to take care of you and your entire family is great intent, but still the money's not going to correct that spine and your health. So the thing we got to watch out for, we got to be focused on these next 3 areas. The number one thing we're going to start with is your adjustments. Your adjustments, we say 3 times a week in the beginning. That's what you're probably doing right now, but that's the minimum. Really, it could be done daily in the beginning to just get you out of this crisis phase, but 3 is the most realistic, and studies show that. If you miss one adjustment, are you moving towards a healthy posture, or are you moving away from a healthy posture? You're moving away. And we cannot break that sequence, especially in the beginning, until you're stabilized. Number 2 thing we're going to look at is your home rehab. Listen, you have to do your home rehab. Every time you're doing the home rehab, number 1, the adjustment unlocked the spine, it's removing the subluxation, but now your home rehab, it's molding the ligaments, the muscles, the tendons. It's helping you hold that adjustment a lot longer, and that's absolutely necessary to be doing daily, twice a day, in order to get the results you want. And don't think of it as rehab or exercise. You got to anchor to it. Number 1, when I'm doing the cervical fulcrum at home, I know I'm opening up the nervous system, that cervical curve. I know the messages from my brain are flowing through my body like a fire hose. My thyroid and my metabolism is optimizing. I could breathe better. My heart's functioning better. That's what you anchor to. More energy, breathing better, all these things. That's what I do it for. And I'm not just laying on this fulcrum. It's changing my life. And then the third thing we need to look at is, what are you doing during the day? Because we're getting adjusted doesn't mean you're automatically immune to the universal forces of gravity. We're going under gravity every single day, so what are you doing now? We have phones, people are texting on, you're looking down, you're on the computer, you're sleeping on the couch, so be conscious of your environment. What are you doing daily on micro-repetitive trauma? If you're a mom and you're carrying your child, let's say, a 30-pound kid on your right hip all day long, you're carrying this, so we're doing things against gravity, and those postural issues are going against what we're trying to do as well. So please be conscious. But I'm not telling you not to live and do the things you love to do. That just supports number 1 and number 2. So that's why you cannot miss an adjustment, and you cannot miss that home rehab, because we want to be able to get the correction we need in the best, most efficient amount of time, and so we can enjoy life and doing all the things we want to do the best way we could do it.
Hi there, Hot Seaters. Jessica and Sullivan Living Good here. We're here to tell you about a new contest we're starting this week. Hopefully you're on Facebook, not this second and not in the office, but if you are on Facebook in general, we want to tell you about a new contest we're doing this week. So we're going to have Ashley give you the details on the contest.
Sure, so the contest is you are going to check in to Living Good Family Chiropractic. I'm going to show you how to do that. Open up your Facebook profile. You'll see a check-in button, and you'll tap that. You'll tap Living Good Family Chiropractic. And then the next step is you can leave us a comment, and you hit post. It'll say that you've checked in. Then come show this to me or any of the staff members, and you'll be entered to win a prize, a free vitamin D.
Cool. All right.
So coconut oil is extremely important for several reasons. It helps you lose weight, it helps your brain function better, and it gives you great amounts of energy. So my tip here for you is when you wake up in the morning, before breakfast, have a teaspoon of coconut oil. It is great for you. Within 20 minutes, research shows that your brain is activated far greater than it is without it. It also helps you lose weight quickly, and it gives you great energy for the day. See, in the 80s, they used to think coconut oil was bad for you because it has saturated fat in it. Well, saturated fat is necessary for your body. Did you know that even breast milk, human breast milk, is filled with saturated fat? Coconut oil is filled with saturated fat as well, but great for you. So don't believe the thought process in the 80s that told you coconut oil is bad for you. It is great for you. It is excellent for your brain. It causes you to lose weight, and it gives you great energy.
All right, releasing the superhero within a child. Interesting topic for me, since I don't have children. But that's got to be the most amazing act within man, the biggest wonder of the world, to actually see when a baby develops inside of a mom, and that whole concept of that. There's something superhero about that. Do you have any pregnant moms in the house? Raise your hand if you're pregnant. Give the moms a round of applause. Raise your hand one more time. Pregnant moms? I need a little help here. I figured this would help with the superhero. Raise your hand real high. If the person next to you is raising their hand for the first time and you're just finding out about their pregnancy, I'm sorry. If that's your spouse, I'm really sorry. So I need to, here, you in the blue right there. Come on up here. You ma'am, come here. Come here real quick. So Dr. Supernaut said he prepared a couple of months for his talk. I've actually been preparing for 5.5 months. This is my wife, and she's pregnant. Hi. That's dedication right there. I was going to make sure we had a good talk. I figured I needed to understand this. In Dr. Supernaut's words, that one took. Have you ever seen, you got to go watch, sorry, I'm going to embarrass us a little bit. Have you ever seen Jim Gaffigan's bit on pregnancy? Especially if you're pregnant, you got to watch this. Everyone should watch this. Jim Gaffigan, he does this skit on pregnancy. He's like, a woman can make a baby with their body, and then they pass the baby through their body. And then they can feed the baby with their body. And if you think about the male's contribution to that entire thing, I didn't train too hard for this talk. Sorry, where was I now? So, you want me to go, she says. So we want to talk about a superhero in a child. So I brought her up here. And so this is what's happening. And so this is a superhero power. You have to understand this power. And so that's why I brought her up. She's gracious enough to be able to touch the baby on stage. So the nervous system in 3 weeks starts developing. It's the number one system you have in the body. 3 weeks is developing. There's brain waves that start at 6 weeks. The lungs are breathing with mom already. The baby can yawn. The baby can smell. It's growing at 1/3 of a pound a week. I actually looked it up. The heaviest baby ever born was 22 pounds, 8 ounces. Please, God, do not be 22 pounds, 8 ounces. Just split her in half. I'm just going to let you go. You look amazing, by the way. I love you. Give her a round of applause. There's a superhero in there. She's not sitting there thinking, grow arm, grow arm, grow arm. It's just happening. You're not even thinking about it. There's a power in there that's running it. And see, the funny thing is it's been in you since the day you were born and in the womb, and it's still in you, and it's the thing that runs you. And some of you heard me talk about this before. This is what gets me going. I just love understanding the power that's inside the body. Listen to this. So everyone shake your hand real quick for me. Shake your hand, just like this. Shake your hand. At 300 miles an hour, it sends a message from your brain down your arm to your hand to tell it how to shake it. 300 miles an hour. That power travels. Inside of your body right now, your brain operates on the same amount of power as a 10-watt light bulb. Some of you 5 watts. The 1 drop of blood contains 5 million red blood cells, 7,000 white blood cells, and 1,000 platelets. It's stretched out. The arteries and veins in your body would reach 60,000 miles going around the earth more than 2 times. That's power inside of you. You have a superhero in there. Take a breath in. Breathe all the way out. The surface area of your lungs is enough to cover the surface area of a tennis court. Make a fist. In your fist right now, pump it. This is your heart. It's the size of a fist. It weighs a pound. Make a fist. So here you have your heart. This thing pumps 2.5 gallons per minute, and it pumps 1.3 million gallons per year inside of your body. Keep pumping it. That heart right there gives off enough electricity, energy, and power in one 24-hour period of time to lift 3 fully loaded Greyhound buses off the ground. And God put it in you. There's a superhero in you. That's what we get to work with. We get to speak to it. We get to release it inside of people, inside of kids, so they can express their full superhero potential. That power, it runs you and I. It runs through a nervous system. This is not a belief. This is not a theory. It's not a good idea. It is a law. And if you block that power, you die faster. It's a law. It is just how it is. You can hang your entire life and the work that you do on a law. But here's the thing. You can't break the law. You cannot break the law. You can only break yourself against the law. That's some good stuff right there. You cannot break the law. You can only break yourself against the law.
So millions of people today are stressed out, they have anxiety and or depression. So here's a couple of things that you can do to help reduce your levels of stress and anxiety in your life. Number 1, get the right levels of omega-3s into your body. Number 2, at night, at sunset, take a walk. The pink sky at night activates lithium in your brain and induces a sense of well-being, and it is great for you. The other thing I recommend is writing down 3 things every night that you're thankful for, focusing on the positive things of the day, not the negative ones. And the last thing is serve others. It's difficult to be negative, anxious, or depressed when you're helping other people. So serve others. And those are the tips for stress, depression, and anxiety.
All right, first we're gonna hit the bottoms. Remember, it is all about the base. This also gets your quads, your chest, your core. It's anaerobic, it's aerobic, it's the power exercise of all exercises. It's the burpee. Now in this burpee exercise, we're gonna do a couple of different forms. We're going to do a regular burpee, we're gonna do a modified burpee to show how to make it easier, and then we're gonna show you how to make it even harder by mixing burpees into all of your exercise routines, or at least once or twice a week. It radically transforms the workout. Really, it just isn't a workout without burpees. So let's show you first the basic burpee. We want to have good form, so we're going to squat down, get our hands on the ground, legs back, address your core so that you stay stiff. Push up, bounce back, and then up. So good squat, hands down, get your core going, do your push up, and back up. Now, I'm 48, So when I work out, it doesn't exactly look like Cirque du Soleil. Your form might even be better than my form. I am a little stiff. So let me just show you a few in a row. Okay, now we're going to show you a modified burpee. This time I'm going to use this block in front of me. Makes it easier for those of you that are getting started, have injuries, maybe you're not in very good shape. You can use a block. It could be even higher. It could be a chair. In this case, we would just, again, good form on our back. Got to keep that lumbar spine and nerves healthy. We're going to now just put our hands in the block, kick back. You can do a push-up or not. Back up, jump. Here, out, push up, back up. You can even not jump if you feel you have too many knee problems, but that's modified. Next is to make it even harder. We're going to add a jump over this block to give an even more anaerobic intensity to this thing. Again, max T3, we not only have a type of exercise, which is the burpee, but we've got a tempo or an intensity level or a speed level. So as we speed these up, jump higher, incorporate other components of this, we change the tempo and we change the way it impacts your metabolism and your leanness. So let's show you the burpee box jump type exercise. Jump over, turn around, jump. One last one. This one, again, another tough one. The burpee box jump. We're going to jump onto the box instead of over the box. So you could do the jump over or the actual box jump. And this box, of course, could be much higher if you have one. So that is your burpee. Again, it's the king of all anaerobic full body exercises. Have fun.
Did you know that pregnant women should be adjusted? Women who are pregnant who do get adjusted report 90% fewer symptoms than other women who do not get adjusted. So chiropractic care not only helps you feel better like that, but also reduces the labor times by over 30%. So if you want shorter labor times and you want to feel better during pregnancy, see your Maximize Living doctor.
Yes, my youngest son, who's now 7 and in 2nd grade, he's always been a handful from birth. And it was always like a struggle to know if he was just being a boy, just a typical boy behavior and a little imp, or if there was some real issues there. It became much more noticeable when he started school. He was struggling to learn letters, colors, even in preschool. Had a very hard time, even if we would go over it continuously, repetition, it just wouldn't set in. He was almost retained in kindergarten, and then again in 1st grade. He was just borderline retention. He was evaluated at school by the speech pathologist, the school psychiatrist. They've identified learning disabilities that he has. He has issues with recall, issues with retaining information, also behavior issues. So obviously that was very frustrating to us as parents, to the teachers. We're just worried about him progressing in school and how it's just gonna probably get worse as he's supposed to be getting better. And I just felt like the last resort was to medicate him, just to put him on medication, and hopefully that would help him to calm down, to be able to focus, and then he would be able to survive in school. And so that, of course, was very tempting because, you know, I was very frustrated as a mom, and I thought I would love that, just to have immediate changes and just put him on this medication and problem solved. But all the things that I had been learning at Maximize Living for my own health and just hearing other people's testimonies, I just knew that wasn't what was really best for him. So I was in here one day to get adjusted, and it just clicked, and I thought I should bring him in to get adjusted. What have I got to lose? Just start bringing him in to get adjusted. It's helped my family in so many different ways. Maybe it would help with this. So I mentioned it to Dr. Joel, and immediately he said, oh yeah, there's lots of studies and evidence that shows getting adjusted can help with brain cognitivity and all that stuff. So they did x-rays and found that the top 2 vertebrae were pressing on his brain stem. So they said maybe that has to do with some of the issues that he's having. And he's been getting adjusted now for 3 or 4 months. And I'm shocked by the improvement that I have seen in him. It is also marked because he has, like I said, an individual education plan. They do progress reports. And we were just looking at the graphs today, and he is on a steady increase in reading, in independence. His recall has gotten so much better. I've seen that he's doing math facts, just memorizing math facts. We also are part of a club at church where the children learn Bible verses. And I'm just blown away that he's able to memorize a Bible verse, because they can be really long, 3 or 4 sentences, and he will memorize the whole thing, whereas before he couldn't even remember the letter A or the color yellow. So overall, I just see a huge improvement, maturing, doing much better in school. I don't think he's in danger of being retained. He's still a work in progress.
Did you know that Maximize Living doctors adjust newborns, that we check their nerve systems right at birth? As a matter of fact, the earlier you get your infant checked, the better it is for them. Researchers, medical doctors in Germany found that 80% of newborns had subluxations in their upper neck, meaning misalignments of the spine due to the birth process at birth, 80% of them. And so as soon as you can, immediately after birth, have your baby checked to make sure that they're growing and developing normally. When you do, the chance of colic, the chances of asthma and allergies and disease process significantly reduce, and your baby sleeps better with chiropractic adjustments, and everybody wants that. So have your infant checked by a Maximize Living doctor.
Some black bean brownies, and don't be turned off by the black beans, because while some recipes don't necessarily taste exactly like their name, like the cauliflower rice may not taste just like rice, even though it's delicious, the black bean brownies do taste like brownies. And if you've made a commitment to be healthy, these are brownies. So, and it all goes in a blender. It's so easy and quick. It's one of the easiest and quickest. Whenever Dr. Ben asks me to do a dessert, I choose the black bean brownies because it's fast. They have a Vitamix blender, which is amazing. But everything goes into the blender and then gets baked. And we start with the eggs. There are 8 eggs that go into the recipe, and I just start with the eggs and blend them. So we'll go ahead and just crack them right into the blender. We always use organic. Everything's organic. Blend the eggs by themselves for, I believe it is about a minute, until they're frothy. After blending the eggs, we add xylitol, and I don't know if you're familiar with xylitol. It is, I think it's formal name is erythritol. We buy Z-Sweet at Whole Foods. This is the secret to most of our baking recipes because it's just like stevia. So it's all natural, no calories, but it's granulated, so it's really good for baking. And that is 1.5 cups of xylitol. So 1.5 cups of xylitol. The recipe calls for regular baking cocoa and special dark, which I believe is Hershey's special dark. We just use the regular cocoa. It's 4 tablespoons of each, but I just use 8 tablespoons of the regular cocoa that we also get at Whole Foods. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So 4 tablespoons of grapeseed oil, 2.5 teaspoons of vanilla. We're going to add all the ingredients except for the black beans at this point, and then blend it some more. Black beans come at the end. Go back to the blender. Be right back. I blended that for another minute, and now I'm going to add the black beans. It's 2 cans, and drain and rinse your beans before you add them to the mix. The black beans add a lot of good protein, as do the eggs. And I said that Dr. Sherry's favorite was cauliflower rice. This is Dr. Ben's favorite, black bean brownies. We make these a lot. Blend the beans, and they get blended for 3 minutes. We've blended the black beans for 3 minutes, and we're ready to put it in the pan. Like I said, it's very, very easy. And I spray it. We get the lid open with some olive oil cooking spray. My pan is 3 quarts. It makes kind of thin brownies. If you'd like to use a smaller pan, they'll be thicker. Wad it just a little bit. Too oily. And then just pour it in. Use a spatula and sometimes a long-handled spoon to get every little bit of goodness out. And then you bake it in an oven at 350 degrees for 30 minutes.
Those are so awesome. It's like one of those chocolate souffles you get in like a fancy restaurant. And the thing about it is, it's not just that it's a healthy dessert, it's a dessert that actually makes you healthy. Thanks, those are good.